Hey everyone, and welcome. We'll be taking a look at my most used amp sims with some runner-ups. So sit back, relax, and if you like what you see and like what you hear, consider subscribing and liking this video. Tap the bell so you get notifications for more videos like this in the future. And with that said, let's go! With today's market of amp sims, it can be extremely hard to just narrow down one or two singular amp sims. So we're just gonna go through my most used in 2024, okay? Okay. First up is an oddball. The Auto Audio 11111111 I. Not really sure how to pronounce it, never really have. I do not know why this plugin is named this, but I do know from experience that this plugin has a lot of customability. Let's run through it, shall we? From changing the bias all the way to the tube options, there really are a lot of different things to do with this particular amp sim. But in my opinion, this amp and the IRs packed within it are right up the alley of death metal and doom metal. It's a very, very fuzzy amp. You can get a bit of a tight rhythm going, but there's other stuff out there that works a lot better and is easier to get that sound. It's fuzzy, it's loud, and it's $150. Wait, $150? You might be saying to yourself? Yeah, it does seem a bit steep, but with all of the things that are packed into this one, it's kind of obvious to see why the price is so high on this one for just one amp. But with all that said, this one really is great for death metal and doom metal. If you are trying to get that sound, believe me, you have it in spades. For me, I look at it as the ultimate death metal and doom metal guitar plugin. Second on the list, we've got the STL Tones Josh Middleton. I reviewed this plugin on my channel a little while back, and I gotta say, I was absolutely blown away by the tones, but not only that, but the fact that I have all of these amps within my collection. You get a Mesa rectifier, you get the PV XXX, and a PV 5150 block letter. I mainly will use this one if I'm dropping my guitar down to a lower tuning, or if I'm going for that hardcore sound, because you really do get the rawness out of each amp that you would actually get if you were playing them in person. And I respect that within this tonality suite. But don't let that fool you, because trust me, you can get it to sound just about however you want. This amp suite is also $150, which makes more sense though, because you're getting 3 instead of 1, like the Auto Audio amp sims, plus all the effects and the cabinets. But yeah, this plugin is great and I love it. So I want to take a minute and talk about my live streams and my Discord community. Those of you who have not seen before, or those of you who are new to the channel, I do live streams 2 to 3 times a week. If you're into songwriting or being able to have some control over writing a song, then I highly suggest joining one of the live streams. We've got a great bunch of people in there, and it's just an all-around great time with like-minded opinions on music and write killer songs. I've also got my Patreon fully up and running, so if you're into having drum files or a full song to shred to, or if you're just simply wanting to learn some new riffs, I highly suggest checking out my Patreon. I got some pretty good free stuff on there. Consider checking it out. Link in the description. Next up is something that you might not initially expect from someone like me. It's the Fine Classics Vintage Vibe amp sim. From time to time, I do play some softer music, whether it be pop punk or Midwest emo. This plugin does just that perfectly. It's a pretty stripped down plugin though, which kind of sucks. It doesn't come with a tuner. It doesn't come with any other impulse responses, but I can tell you this, it is a great sounding plugin. It comes with 3 different effects, and for that little amount of plugin, you do pay a smaller price, which is why this plugin is $60 at the time of filming this video. I say at the time of filming this video because I only paid $40 for this plugin. It seems that now that it's gained popularity, they've actually raised the price of it, which to me is kind of corny and bad business practice for keeping a niche community of home recording artists at their following. But I digress. Fourth in line is one of my all-time favorite plugins. If you have been to my channel before, if you have watched the live streams, if you have been anywhere around the channel, then you've probably heard me mention this one. This next one is the STL Tones Lasselammer Tonality Suite. It is one of my favorite plugins of all time because it really does everything. It does the thrash thing, it does the death metal thing. I've written tons of pop punk, skate punk songs on it. I mean, it's great for everything. This plugin comes with a modded JCM 800 with a legendary Tones hot mod in the back of it, a Driftwood Purple Nightmare, and a Diezel VH4. Also, us plebs get to use Lasselammer's famous Engel cabinet that is used on a bunch of awesome records. If you haven't checked this one out, check it out. This guitar plugin suite is also $150. Next up is NeuroDSP's Gojira X. I'm sure most of you knew that this plugin was going to be in here somewhere. It really does seem to be the standard for what people use for the high gain modern metal tones. This plugin has become #1 for when I'm live streaming, mainly because of 2 things. You have a transpose knob which lets you go 12 semitones down or 12 semitones up, sort of like the drop pedal. So on the fly, boom, I can change the tuning without losing people's attention during my live streams so that I can just change the tuning and not have to worry about losing viewership. The second awesome thing is instead of just having it directly down the middle in mono, is you can put the doubler on in the top right corner and sort of hear what it would sound like if that guitar riff was double tracked. If the Reddit cesspool of angry users is anything to go by, I believe that the amp they used for this is the EL34 5153, which apparently the band has used for a long time. The last but most certainly not least, this plugin is what really makes my mixes, personally for me, is what makes them shine. This plugin is NeuroDSP's Parallax, which is not stated on the website. You can't find a solid answer anywhere about what this plugin is based off of. I've heard Dark Glass, I've heard or B7K. I don't know, I'm not a full-time bass player. It has not been disputed for as far as I know. And if you know, leave a comment down below and let me know, because genuinely, I don't know. And at the end of the day, I can be honest and tell you, I've only ever used 3 different bass plugins. I've used the BOD Overdrive, I've used Joey Sturge's Bass Forge, and I could not for the life of me get the bass tone that I was looking for in those plugins. But with the Parallax, I'm able to do so with ease, and that's why this one is in my rotation for every song. I've also heard a lot of good things about Glenn Fricker's Element Bass plugin, but I've just never used it, and maybe I'll give it a try. Let me know down below if you want me to try it out. And also I do want to give some special mentions because those aren't the only plugins I use. Those are just the ones in the heaviest of rotation. The special mentions have to go to Bogren Digital's Rev C. That thing is amazing, especially without the temptation of just having knobs everywhere and trying to find a guitar tone, and then you end up forgetting the riff that you were trying to play in the first place. So yeah, Bogren Digital Rev C is great, but it's not something that I use in a mix all the time. The second one is a free one, and it's gotta be, in my opinion, one of the best free guitar plugins, especially for higher gain tones. And that plugin is the STL Tones Ignite Emissary. It's been around for a long time. I think they just did a refresh on it, and it is a great plugin. I will mention though, if you get this plugin, you also need to download their free IR loader, which you can use with any IRs that you make or you buy online. Pretty cool. All right, you guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Let me know your favorite amp sims down below. Don't forget to check the description for the Discord and Patreon, and let me know what you guys think. I love making videos like this, and I hope that you guys do as well. Signing off, I'll check you in the next one. Peace.